Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of the Suited Kings podcast. Today, I'm joined by my less than attractive co-host Wesley Cannon, and another special guest who boasts 4.5 million in career earnings. He's a WPT champ ×2, as well as a WSOP bracelet winner. Mr. Matt Waxman, how you doing, sir?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Thanks for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Just throwing your co-host under the bus like immediately in the intro.
That's our love language, by the way. It's needling each other. It's how we respect each other.
Yeah, I mean, one out of every 5 or so times it's handsome, and then 4 out of 5 it's ugly. That's pretty much
just to catch you off guard every now and then with a compliment.
Yeah. Disarming. Yeah,
it makes the times that I treat him good even more valuable. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I can understand that for sure.
Yeah.
But my friends, so today we have Matt joining us. He's going to actually share some history with us back from the 2009 era of poker, when the world was a bit different in terms of poker. And as many of you know, we're more of like a modern strategy type podcast. We dissect solver play and things like that. And I think today's going to be fun because we're going to kind of talk about how poker, hear stories, but also reflect on how different it was back then. Matt, can you tell us about how you got started in poker? And
sure, yeah. Like how far back do you want to go?
As far as you want, man.
I mean, I was playing cards as a kid.
Okay.
My mom's aunt used to babysit me all the time, and she'd always bring a deck of cards, and I would just be sitting with her on the couch after school, and we were playing like gin rummy when I was like 6, 7 years old. And I always won every time. And it definitely boosted my ego. But now, like, or at least like since I've been an adult, I realized like she was letting me win. Like, there's no way I won like 49 out of 50 gin rummy games against anyone.
Yeah. I was going to say, it didn't sound very legit, but
yeah, like, well, that's a game too where the variance of the cards comes into play as well, and it's like,
I remember she beat me one time, and I would just be like, so surprised when it happened, because like when you're a kid, you don't realize like what's actually happening in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I was always playing cards. I'd be playing like 5-card draw with my family for pennies and stuff. Then I was kind of in video games for a while, but then I remember like junior and senior year of high school, we used to take my friends would always have a deck of cards. It was all like the nerdy like math guys and stuff like that. And we would be playing.
Wes fits in that group, by the way.
We would have a sheet because we didn't have chips, and you would just write a tally.
Okay.
And I always worked a lot of jobs since I was like a kid. Since I was like 15, I was working at a drugstore. I was reffing soccer games. I worked at a restaurant. I had a lot of jobs, so I always liked to like make money and like be able to pay for my own stuff. And I was very risk averse. I didn't want to gamble, and I would just sit there with my friends, like in like study hall or at lunch or whenever, and I would just like watch them play these games. We would play Follow the Queen. Do you know that one?
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
7-card stud.
Okay.
But if a queen turns face up, then the queens are wild, and whatever card is after the queen is wild.
Oh.
So if
weird.
Yeah, so if like on the opening street there's a queen and then a 7, right? And then on 6th Street, another queen pops up, then the 7s are no longer wild, and your whole hand could just get screwed.
Dude, that's messed up.
Yeah. But they were playing that game. They were playing Texas Hold'em.
But what year was this around?
This is 2003, 2002.
Okay. Moneymaker year.
Or Coney. Right before Moneymaker.
Oh, the year before.
02, yeah.
02, yeah. Yeah, Robert Varconi. And Phil Hellmuth was like, if Varconi wins, I'm going to shave my head or something like that. And then I think he like shaved his head on the broadcast. It's pretty fun.
I feel like I remember this.
And they used to always play the Umberto Brenes episode of him like at like the poker open where he had like a pile of chips, and he was it might have been before he was the Chark days when he's like, the Chark is coming.
I remember this.
Yeah, so I just used to watch my friends play.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, they're really bad. Like I knew the rules and I was like, these guys are making some really dumb moves. So yeah, I mean, I used to play a little on party poker and would just like mess around with like some sit and goes for fun. And I was like winning a lot. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll put some of my money at stake. And I started playing with my friends. And after like a month or two, everyone in the school owed me money. It was to the point where people were just like buying out for like cheaper and like just didn't want to pay. And I was just like, man, this is brutal. Like I win and they don't want to pay me. Like I would have paid them if I lost. And,
okay. All right. So you're collecting debts at a very early age then.
yeah, all these kids owed me money and I wasn't an enforcer. I was like this little like 140-pound kid. Like, so then like I remember one day, me and my buddy, we skipped last period because you would have a different day, like class off each day of the week. So 7th period was off, which meant our last period was study hall. So we just skipped study hall and we drove to the casino.
Okay.
There you go.
And the casino back then was just like a room that was like maybe like 1,000 square feet. And you were allowed to smoke inside and there was terrible ventilation. And I remember you'd buy in $20 at a time and they would give you three $5 chips and a 20 stack of quarters, which you would ante with everything.
Jeez.
And there wasn't Texas Hold'em yet. It was, they called it Tahoe, which is a 3-card game, kind of like Hold'em. And then there was also a 7-card stud table. And for the jackpot, if you hit a royal flush, you get $1,000. But a royal flush in diamonds was the progressive royal flush.
Okay.
So that one could get pretty high. And it just so happened the first time we went to the casino, it was at like $11,000. And sure enough,
no way.
My friend that I go with hit the royal flush in diamonds the first time we ever stepped foot in the casino. He just hits it.
Oh my God.
I'm sure that will get you hooked. Like I'm sure he was ready to go back the next day.
$11,000 at that age?
Like, yeah, I would have been.
My friend won 11 grand, and you could be sure that the next week they got a lot of new customers from the local high school at their
yeah, no doubt.
And like I didn't even like think that I was entitled to any of the money. I didn't like want any, like even though he was like a good friend, like we didn't have a deal. So like I didn't really like think anything. I lost like $60 that session playing like some stupid ass game.
That's a lot back then, man.
And the rake was insane. I mean, yeah, when you're in high school, like yeah, you spend $60 on something, it's not great. But I mean I worked a lot, so I had some money saved up and whatever. And then my friend just drives over and he's like, yeah, I'll give you $100. And I was like, cool.
That's awesome.
In reality, I should be like, yo, give me 1,000.
Like, I thought it was gonna be like 10% or something.
Yeah. He gave, I don't know. Like usually like people go in and have a deal. I didn't even know that jackpot existed. And I just hear him go, I hit it. Oh, I got it. What'd I win? And then like, yeah, he just gets
11. 5 buy-ins to the game, to the Tahoe game though. Isn't it $20 or something you said?
Yeah, you buy in $20 at a time. Yeah. You're paying a quarter and they're raking like way too much. The game was unbeatable. I would even with knowledge today, I would bet against any pro poker player being able to long-term win in that game.
Okay. It sounds like the perfect OMC game. Like if you go to a casino and you're playing 1-2, they buy in $50 at a time. And
it's just a complete rake fest. You could go on some runs and like make $100 now and then, but like long-term, I would pretty confidently bet against like Phil Ivey beating that game.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They just took so much off the table. So yeah, I mean, that was like the high school journey. And like, then like that summer I started playing a lot of like home games. You guys know who Alex Jacob is?
I actually don't.
Is that from Alex Jacob? Isn't he from like a game show?
Jeopardy.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So in middle school, Alex and I were on the same basketball team.
Really?
Basketball team. Yeah, he was a year older than me, but he was a complete genius. This guy. He would like. I remember he like he was in like the spelling bee, and I don't know if he won or maybe got second or something, but like he ended up going to Yale. Just like, and he was like crushing party poker, just playing like ultra high stakes and just crushing cash games and tournaments because he had like a very mathematical approach, which in 2003 wasn't really like a thing.
Okay.
People didn't really understand. I remember like when I was 18 and I thought I was pretty good at poker. I remember us driving to like so I met him at his house again after not seeing him for like 5 years. And I'm like, Alex, you're the guy from Yale who's hosting a home game? And he's like, yeah. He's like, what's up, man? Come play. So we're playing like 1-2 at his house. And he would always just clean up the games and I would do like okay. And then most of the other people would probably lose. And I remember that me and him started to go out on the gambling boats because you couldn't play like good poker. Like I told you, the rake was so insane. Mm-hmm. At the local casino, which is now Coconut Creek, the casino for Hard Rock, Coconut Creek or whatever. So we'd go out on the gambling boats. The boat was called the Saint-Tropez. And I think it was like 18 or older at first, but then they changed it to 21 when we were still like younger. So I like made a fake ID to go out on this boat. And
I've always wanted to play on a gambling boat. We don't have that. I mean, there might be something in Minnesota. Probably not. But
it was so absurd. But you would literally take the boat out for like 3 hours, and you would they'd spread like a reasonable like 5-10 game.
Okay.
They had a 5-10 no limit game, which was the big game, and then they had a 2-4-8 limit game. So we would play this 5-10 game. Man. And then I remember every time when the boat is coming back in, you can't gamble anymore. So you'd go to the breakfast buffet. They let everybody go to the breakfast buffet. Nice. And they had like these like eggs that were like made out of a carton and like French toast and like bacon and like sausage links. And it's just so funny. Like the way the food tasted coming back was like directly correlated with whether you won or lost.
Yeah, for sense. Sure. If I lost, I'd be just having a bag, just stuffing buffet food into it, taking it home. Just fuck you.
If you lost, you're like, I'm not eating, man. Screw this place. And then like you're like, oh man, this French toast and this plastic syrup carton. Oh yeah, this is a hidden spot. But
I will say, I feel like having a casino on a boat seems like a liability, just because I'm like people have bad tendencies after losing a pile of money, and there's a lot of water surrounding them.
Yeah, that's true for sure. The Sun Cruise was a popular one too at the time, but that was the place where we had to go to get games. And I remember they had this big tournament at the end of the summer.
Okay.
And there was this guy that got 5th place in the World Series of Poker main event playing in the tournament. And it was a big deal for all the people are talking about it. They used to call me, I don't like agree with this or like, it's definitely not true. And like, I try to be like, but like me and Alex were the only people under like 30 on this. The kids weren't playing poker. It just they didn't exist. Like now a poker room is all kids.
It was a lot different, right?
But we were like just kids playing, and we're playing with all like people like the average age is probably like 65. And there are people, and like I was playing poker, and then they were calling me like Stu Unger. I didn't even know who Stu Unger was. They're like, oh, he's like Stu the kid, and I'm like, I had to like Google who that was. I didn't even know. But not because like I was like a genius, just because I was a kid playing, and everyone else is so old. So yeah, I ended up like getting 4th place in that like tournament or whatever for like a couple $1,000. Now I'm going to college and I'm at like orientation. I just tell my folks, I'm like, they're like, what do you want to major in? And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm playing poker as soon as I graduate. And my parents lost it. They were so upset.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, I like kind of like knew I wanted to be a poker player because I knew I was like pretty good. I knew that there's a lot of opportunity, and I also like the freedom and just like the excitement of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's why Wes and I, do it. It's the flexibility of the lifestyle is just the best thing you can get from it.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of positives that come with it. There's also lots of negatives, like life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, I got off on a bunch of tangents.
It's quite all right. That's what we're here for. It's story day.
Yeah. I'm just trying to fast forward because I could talk for hours about like 1 year poker.
Totally.
When did you decide to start like playing, full time and moving? Like, did you start playing full time before you played your first World Series of Poker, or no?
No. Well, maybe, kind of. I don't know. I went to Florida State, and there was college games at poker. Like I was just playing a lot of poker in college. I wasn't really. I was either like playing poker, or going out to like house parties and just drinking way too much as a underage 18, 19-year-old. There used to be like this app called House Party 850 or something, where you like this was instant messenger days, like 2003.
Yeah, well, baby.
So you would literally go on on AOL or instant messenger, and you would message this bot and be like, "Yo, where's the party tonight?" And it would just tell you where the local house parties were.
No way.
Yeah,
that feels almost dangerous.
And then you'd go, and there'd be a guy holding a stack of Dixie cups, and you'd give him $5, and you just drank beer all night.
Yeah,
with that cup. And that was pretty much how the parties worked.
Did you go hustle people in the basement of the parties or what?
No, but I did play some sketchy home games in Tallahassee. I think his last name. I don't even know the guy. I haven't talked to the guy in fucking forever, but I think his last name was like Zingali.
Okay.
Some scumbag in Tallahassee, and we caught him. We caught him cheating us. Me and my friends were playing like a 5-10 game. And it was my friends told me about this game, and they're like, "Yo, this guy is so bad. He's calling off gut shots on the turn for like pot-sized bets. Like he just hits it."
Okay.
And I was like, "Really?" So we tried to figure out like, so I go obviously, and I'm like being cautious. And he was cheating. He had a shiner. You know what that is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
So if you're dealing, I've had so much money stolen from me since I was a kid in poker, because I was just naive, and like there was no regulations. It was like wild west.
It was much easier, I'm assuming, back then than it is now to cheat.
Well, now they have really sophisticated ways of cheating. Like they have apps that tell you if you win. That's insane. But this guy had a shiner, so you basically take a ring and you put it on the finger that holds the deck, and you just shave it. So it's a mirror, basically. So you're holding the deck in your right hand. This is the hand you're pulling with. You can just take the top card and just move it out just a little bit.
No way.
You could see in the reflection of the ring what the card is.
Wow.
So you want to wonder how he's calling with a gut. He knows the card's coming.
Okay.
So it's not that he's gonna be able to do that every time he has a gut shot, but he knows which times it's coming and when it's not.
Yeah.
So
if you have King 7, right, and the board is Ace, King 3, 4, and then you see a 7's coming, like on the river,
piloting.
Well, no, but you could like call and just be like, I'm going to make 2 pairs, so that's worth a couple calls, like, but you don't really have it. So when you just know the card that's coming and you don't, it's a huge advantage. So yeah, they caught him. And then they kept playing with the guy. They just didn't let him deal anymore. And I was like, what is wrong? Like,
that's so weird. Yeah.
Like, let's beat this guy's ass. Like, he stole money from us, like.
I thought it was going to be like a Rounders moment where they just beat the piss out of him and throw him out of the club.
Yeah, but like, you're dealing with a bunch of nerds. Like, you're not really, well, we're not really nerds, like completely, but we're not like bad guys that are going to beat someone up,
Yeah.
We're just kids that want to play poker. So I didn't really play in that game. Again,
I think it's fair to say to stay away from that game. That's my assumption.
But like, anytime some guy's like, "Yo, I'll deal the game for you guys," like he was like dealing. He was dealing the game and like just passing the button. So like he got to know the cards every single time. He's probably cleaning up. But yeah, that was maybe like the first time I like got cheated like for a lot. But there's been so many times that I could think of back when I was here and hustling.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I graduated college. Then I would basically just be putting up like I was just trying to win a WPT, because that was my show. Like the WPT, the World Series was cool, but like I always loved the World Poker Tour, because like I don't know, the way they showed their final tables and the way that they built up like the characters, like that was for me like really exciting poker to watch.
I would go to bed. It sounds really weird, but I'd go to bed every night watching WPT coverage.
When it was on when it was on the Travel Channel?
I don't remember what channel. It might have been Travel. I don't remember, but I was in my parents' basement. I'd go to bed and I'd watch WPT only every single night. That's what I'd go to sleep to every night.
Yeah, same. They used to have it. It was 2 hours long, and then they would have there would be an hour in between where it was like some random travel show, and then they'd put the 2 hours on again. I'd watch the same episode.
I remember like during the WPT coverages, it would be like you'd see like 3 hands, and the rest of it was like filler material of like story building or like the Royal Flush girls or like.
Yeah, this was way pre Royal Flush. I'm talking season 1 right now.
Okay,
like,
yeah, I think this was probably 2000 and probably 8 or 11.
That was my era. That's when I started like playing WPT, the Royal Flush girls. But like. Before this, it was just like Phil Ivey, Gus Hansen, Lane Flack, rest in peace. Like these were the guys that you're just like, oh wow, these are the big shots in poker. Like,
okay. So did you start trying to like build a role to play in these events, or?
Yeah, I was trying as hard as I can. I remember. So after like sophomore year of college, I moved back home because the Hard Rock was opening.
Okay.
And I lived with my brother in Fort Lauderdale, which is where I am now, which is was pretty cool. And I figured if I'm not really like trying that hard at school, like I might as well like be away from all the distractions and like save on some expenses and just get to play poker full time. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted to do. So I was like 21, and the first WPT stop that I could possibly play now that I'm old enough was Tunica, Mississippi, the Gold Strike.
Okay.
So I don't know. I took like a couple $1,000, maybe like $5,000 out there. And I just remember wanting to get into the main, which was a 10K so badly.
It's tricky.
And I was playing like cash, and they have a Mississippi straddle there, which means you straddle from the button.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I met, do you guys know who Lee Markholt is?
No, I do not.
I don't.
He's a legend. He really great player. He plays mostly cash though. And I was playing with him in some like 5-10 game or something. And he's running over the table. And like, I'm better than most people, but like, I'm not rolled to even be in this freaking game. So like, and I just remember that we were side betting $1 every single hand on who, if we win the hand, you get to keep the $1.
Okay.
He had to take me for like $100 over in this bet.
That's insane.
Just winning every pot.
I don't know if that's true. I really don't remember, but he definitely got the best of me in the bet. But whatever, he's a nice guy. I still see him. I'm always excited to see him. Like in a tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
But so I was down to my last $500. And the main event's literally the next day, and I put it into a satellite. Miracled it. I like won the satellite in like epic fashion, and I'm in the main, baby.
It's like a 5% satellite, like
yeah, 1 in 20, yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah. No, like I think like 7 people got in or something.
Okay.
But I remember I was like the ultra short stack with like 9 people left. And I was like all in like with King 3, and I made like quads. They all called to try to bust me.
And like there was solidified your entry into the main.
Yeah, and I got in the main. So then I'm playing in the main, and I'm like, this is it. This is my time. Like I'm gonna win a WPT now. Like I've been waiting for this for years. I'm like 21. Just like I just turned 21 like a week ago. And my table, I remember, was Gavin Smith, Eric Lindgren, Barry Greenstein, and Vanessa Russo.
Okay.
Crazy hard table. I knew Vanessa already a little bit from Florida, and then I remember just playing some like massive pot with her at the end of the day, and I called her with King High on like a river. I called her 2 streets with King High. And she just like, nice hand, you win. And I'm just like, okay. And like, I didn't show my cards because I had King High. Like,
if she mucks, then yeah, you don't have to, right?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, thanks. And like, I didn't want to be mean to her either, but I was just like, so are you gonna fold?
Yeah.
And she's just like, ugh. And then she goes queen high, and just like takes her like random hand and just like flicks in the air, just like flying everywhere. And I go, okay, king high. And like I was like thrilled because now I got like a pile in the WPT main event after making some sick call against this girl who's been like crushing tournaments.
Yeah. She was a hot commodity back then. I remember that.
Oh yeah, she was like she had a Poker Stars deal, and she's a very nice girl, very smart, really smart. And I remember like feeling really good because Gavin Smith, who was like player of the year like the year before, goes up to me, he's like, "Yo, that king high call was really sick, dude." And
dude, nice.
Like, man, thank you. Like that,
to hear that from like Gavin Smith.
To hear from him, because he was an absolute hero at the time. He was like crushing tournaments.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird because like when you're younger, you have like this ego about you. Or I did. I know I did.
I think that's normal.
Yeah. I just wanted to be the best. That's all I cared about. But now I could care less.
Okay.
Like I don't really want any recognition at all.
It changes as you get older. Like I feel the same way. Like, I'm approaching 40 now, and like my views on all of that has completely changed for sure.
Right. Yeah, it does. It changes a lot. At least if you like, I think you can grow and like understand what's important. Like I'll be playing like some like tournament, and let's say there's like 5 people at the table that are just like, lighting it on fire. And then there's like 2 guys that are like pretty good, who I'm not like particularly scared of, but like they're pretty good. I'm going to like stay out of their way and like not try to play pots with the guys that have a clue. Whereas when I was younger, like I would look for the best player at the table and just try to like destroy them.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Matt. What did studying look like back in that time?
That's a phenomenal question.
Yeah.
Studying looked like smoking a joint and like thinking about all the hands you played and like what you could have done better.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
There was so like, do you guys know what card runners is?
Yep.
That was like the resource for people learning. Those were the bad guys that taught everybody poker.
Okay.
They
had like a magazine and probably a web page, like a forum or something. A forum, right?
No, I don't think so. Am I getting the name wrong?
Maybe I'm misremembering.
Was there like man, I remember there's another one.
I thought Card Runners was like
It was Card Runners. It was with Taylor Cabby, Brian Hastings.
Okay, yeah.
Sean Townsend, I think his name was.
Yeah. I was probably mixing up how their content with that, but yeah, I've heard of that.
So that was like the big like, a poker training site, like cool, like that's a thing, so that's how like a lot of people were able to learn fast. But like I had to learn, by like talking hands with people and asking questions and like developing my own poker strategy. But now like you see like a great example that comes to mind is someone like Landon Tice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He like learned poker in like 6 months and was able to just like be a student, study everything.
Self-proclaimed slave to the sim.
And he can learn a lot of stuff about poker so quickly because of this like amazing plethora of poker resources that's available to people nowadays if you really want to try. That's why when people ask me for coaching, I'll like usually just be like, sure, I could coach you, but like you might want to just like pay a $20 subscription to some training site, and that'll probably be like way more valuable for you. And like, you could learn a lot more.
For sure. It's like, there's so much, and this is more my thought on coaching now, but it's like, you can maybe have someone to bounce ideas off, or like someone who gets you to see a couple things quickly. But I feel like in the long run, it's like you can pay the same amount to have these tools for like as much time as you want, or you can pay for a couple hours with one person,
Yeah.
Well, if you want like an experience to learn about poker that's tailored more to like your own personal game and your own leaks and your own mind, like I'll be able to get in there and like listen to you like talk about poker and probably help you in some way that like you might not be able to find on your own.
The leaks thing I think is huge. I think it's,
but like to your point, like most people they need to learn so many like basic like fundamentals about poker, which if you're asking me to teach you that, you're wasting your money, like that's just not really.
I think what coaching could do is like, there's lots of different paths, right? A coach can help you find the right path, and then you can use those tools to continue down that path.
Sure. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Matt, I had a question going back to, you were talking about that satellite.
Oh,
so you bought $5,000 over to Mississippi. You're down to $500. Like I feel like I've had, not to that extent, but when I was in college, I went and fired this like satellite into a satellite to try and get in. It's like you're taking this tiny amount of money to try just to get one shot at this tournament that some people might have endless bullets for, right?
Right.
When you're all in with 9 left, what's going on inside? Like, are you about to be crushed if you go home with no money and you don't get a shot at the real tournament? Or when you made quads with King 3 or whatever?
Before this and after this, I've experienced going broke so many times. Like, it's not like you get used to it, but eventually you like might learn like, hey, maybe I should like manage a bankroll instead of just like bombing it all in hopes of glory. I think when you're young, it's a lot better to take those risks too.
For sure. Because less responsibility.
Right. But then when you get older and then you like, you got to be a little bit more boring and responsible.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
But yeah, I mean, I used to definitely like, even after I got into the main, like my heart is pumping like crazy for every single, like I might just be like folding a hand and I'm still like, just like feeling all the adrenaline, like.
I like to hear that you're making these, you're going with your gut and making king high calls on multiple streets though. And probably the biggest event you've ever played at this point in your life.
Oh yeah. It's the biggest event by like 10X. I don't think I've ever played more than like a 1K.
Okay.
And then I bluffed off all my chips in the bubble. Like all of them.
Right.
You literally bubbled.
No, I didn't back bubble, but I probably got busted like maybe like 10 spots away.
Okay.
I bluffed off all my chips, and then I had like a pile, man. And then I think it was David Tran was his name. I ended up like playing like a 5-bet pot with him, ace queen against kings, because I was literally in every pot, like dominating this table. So I thought like ace queen was way good enough to just get stacks in with this guy. And he's just like, oh, kings, yeah, of course. And then like I lost that hand bubble or soft bubbled, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was my first
fun drive home.
I think I flew.
A fun run.
Michael Mizrachi actually ended up chopping that tournament with Scotty Wynn.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool because I actually knew the grinder already from like playing like a couple cash games with him.
Okay.
And he's just had an amazing year,
to say the least,
dude. So like the first time after the boat, we all go, like this guy who deals was like, yo, we're gonna keep playing. You want to come back to my house? Like we'll deal a home game. And we're like, yeah, we got this guy coming. He's a dealer, but he's trying to be pro now. And we're like, okay. So like I'm there with like Alex and all these like Florida guys playing this like 5-10 game. I'm nervous as hell because now like the game is like way harder than the one on the boat. And then comes Grinder. This is my first time ever meeting him. He's wearing like a tank top, like just fucking like chewing gum with like a hat like turned sideways. And he's just like, he has a pile of chips. And like I just remember how big like his bets were, like how oversized his, like, I would be like making like a 3-bet of like, like maybe like 3x or something of like someone's open. Somebody opened for like 400 and he's like 2,300 and like just like throwing chips out like a freaking maniac.
Yeah.
And I just got to like watch Grinder like play. I had no idea who the hell he was. I thought he was just some psychopath at the time, but I that was like my first encounter, like watching him play. You just like a complete like, so yeah, it's cool, man. It's been, and it was great seeing him, have such a great World Series, like it was
a
nice.
Comeback, man. Yeah. I mean, he had obviously that is his 4th PPC title, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right? And then wins the main event same year. Like it's unheard of, but, let's jump to 2009. Is this your first WSOP then?
No.
No, it's not. Okay.
No,
When was your first WSOP?
2006.
2006. Okay. And what was that experience like for you? Any luck?
2009 was my first like real WSOP though, because I won an F-Tops earlier that year. So now I had a roll.
So you're playing online a lot at this point?
Not that much. I was mostly a live guy, but like I told you, like, bankroll management is like the most important thing that you can learn as a professional poker player, because you got to stay in action.
Yeah.
And variance is a thing. So like you need to make sure that you're firing enough bullets rather than just like taking a big shot, which I've done so many times and lost like countless times.
I feel like that's a huge thing that's changed. Like, I feel like pros from back then, you hear about going broke all the time. And then, the people I know and myself, it's like, oh yeah, like why it sounds weird to say, but it's almost like, why would you go broke, but why would you be in that position almost?
Because you just have a lot of confidence and you think you hit one,
totally
you're going to be there.
Totally.
I would never borrow money I didn't have though. Like I've never been in debt to anyone.
Yeah.
So that's not true for a lot of poker players.
Fair.
But what was the question? The first question I was
just
what WSOP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So bankroll management. I finally like went to my friend. I was like, yo, I got to stop just being an idiot. So I'm gonna put $1,000 online and just grind. And I started playing these like 69 plus $6 45 person sit and goes.
Yep.
Had no antes on full tilt.
No ante. I play super tight then.
Yeah, exactly. And it would just be like a 5 table tournament, and they'd pay like first place would be like $1,000 or something. I don't remember. Like, but they were like
sound kind of cool. They should still. Sites should have
it was
like
like
bigger sit and goes.
5 table sit and goes. Yeah. And it was a fixed prize one. I would just reg those, and that's all I was doing. And I was winning. Like I made like maybe like $1,000 in the first week or so, and like I was just like, I was like, all right, it's time to make this a job if I want to do this. Like I can't just be like, blasting my whole roll away or trying to like hit it big. I'm gonna have to like work hard and like give myself a chance.
Yeah.
And then like ironically, I was like, okay, I had a good week, so now I'm gonna play like a multi-table tournament. So I played like this. It was called the 30 cubed, and I won it for $7,200.
Okay.
So now all of a sudden I'm like stoked. In 2 weeks, I've made like $8,000 online. And I was like, all right, you know what? Like my friend called me up and said, it's F-Tops. You playing the turbo? It's a $200 F-Tops turbo. And I was like, you know what? I just won this tournament. Like I'll treat myself to a big buy-in tournament, a $200 buy-in tournament. So I registered the F-Tops turbo. And then 3 hours later, I won the F-Tops for $100K.
Wow. And, wait, $100K?
Oh yeah. The F-Tops were huge back then.
By the way, Wes, if you're not familiar, because I know this was before you were born, but F-Tops is full tilt. am I correct?
Yeah, I got my jersey right here. If you want to see it, I got 2 of them actually. But
dude, that's right. They give away jerseys. That is super cool. Yeah, grab that. Let's see it.
There it is, baby.
Dude.
Oh man.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And it comes with a name. That is sick.
You get to customize it. I mean, I've never worn this like for real, but
it's a trophy.
The trophy, yeah. I got 2 of them.
Okay.
So that was my first big score. I remember my roll was like 20K at the time, and I just banked this thing, and now I got 120K. I've never had 6 figures before in my life, and I'm just like,
you're what, mid 20s, early 20s?
24.
24, yeah. Okay.
25 maybe.
That's a pile of cash at that age for sure.
Yeah, and I've been grinding. I've been like ups and downs, like hustling, playing cash games, home games. I've had my role fluctuating a lot. But like,
did you give your friend $100
that told me to play? Nah, but we went out and celebrated that night.
A little throwback to the Tahoe game.
Oh no, not that kid. That kid.
No, I know it wasn't him. It's just
I still talk to him, but like he's not. He doesn't play poker.
Okay.
Yeah, we celebrated. I remember getting home at like 6 a.m. and like my car had a flat tire. It like ran over a nail. It was so brutal. But it's okay. I won 100K that day. So
Okay, so we're back after a short bathroom break there, but yeah, so you got 120K in the roll after banking an F tops, a $200
Chilling.
buy-in event.
Yeah, now I'm like looking at the World Series coming up and I'm planning my schedule. I'm just like, oh baby, I get to play all the events now. I don't have to play satellites and try to get in with like Lammers and like all that stuff. I'm gonna just be playing the bracelet events. I'm gonna try to win a bracelet. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I played a pretty big schedule and I got enough cashes to like keep me afloat for most of the time. But I was like around even, I would say, like going into like the last few events of that 2009 World Series.
Okay.
And then I had two more events left. The 5K 6 max and the main.
Okay.
Yeah, I played the 5K 6 max and
you found this one, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. That was my first final table.
Okay. How many entries were in a 5K 6 max back then?
I think it had like 900 or something.
I mean, that's got to be probably one of the toughest fields in the entire series, too.
Yeah, my first table was tough, but you ever just like go into a tournament and you're just kind of like so pissed off in a way that you're like locked in and you just like,
yeah,
for sure. You are taking no prisoners.
Yeah.
I kind of was like feeling that way, like as I sat down. So I was just being quiet. I had like I had like these like Prada sunglasses on, like so cringe now that I look back, but like whatever. I was like wearing like these sunglasses and like a button down, and I'm just like, just classic, like
2009 era, like
total poker douche right there. Yeah,
the looks, yeah, man, it's watching some of the videos. I'm just like, wow, that style back in the day was something. It was something.
Yeah.
I'm looking 928 entries.
I had like gel in my hair and stuff. I've been putting gel in my hair in like 15 years.
Same, actually.
No offense. There's nothing wrong with doing something in your hair. I'm just saying I don't really care. You want to make yourself look great? Good. Do it. But yeah, so I just went in there and I was just like, I was blasting. I was playing with T-May and Matt Graham at my first table.
Okay.
And I just remember running like some nasty bluffs on T-May because he was just kind of a nit. And I just got some chips, and all of a sudden, like I found myself with two tables left. And like, I was like one of the first people to cross 1 million chips in that tournament. First place was $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
It was sweet. And I did not expect this. Like there was no way I thought I was going to do this. And then all of a sudden I'm at like the final table and Faraz Jaka was there. He's probably the only one that's still like a big name in poker from that final table.
Yep.
But Faraz is an insanely like creative poker player. But now he's like way more studied and like more tame. I don't know if I want to say tame, but like
I think I saw that he like 3-bet 7 deuce off and busted the main event this year.
Okay, sure. So back then, playing with Faraz, he would do the most insane stuff, and he would be able to get like all the chips in no time, or he could lose them. But he was putting chips in, and like he was going to showdown and turning over some crazy shit sometimes. So like I would like watch players like that and just be like, oh, these guys know something I don't. Like this is the kind of person I want to figure out. Like this is some interesting poker right here. But now like you can't play like that. That's like actually something I want to talk about is like back then, if you were finding a way to be in pots and get chips in and just always looking for a way to like if raise was always your first thought, you were probably going to do pretty well because the biggest leak in people back then was they weren't playing enough hands. They weren't calling light enough. They didn't understand when they can call. And they also weren't being aggressive enough against people who had too high of a raising frequency. So for example, now if there's a guy blasting every single hand, when you come in the pot, you're going to put a big raise in on him usually. And just like, cause you know that he's opening crap. So you want to tax that, like that's kind of like a very common adjustment now. So you can't really get away with just like being a psycho in every single pot. But back then you could just be in every single hand Like you could 3-bet, and like if people had like ace queen or even ace king, they might not like 4-bet you. Like they would just call, and then you'd hit like 2-pair with like 7-5 suited and get a stack. Like it was different. So like a lot of the people that were just winning the most were the people that would always lean toward aggression. And that's still kind of true, like towards the end of tournaments today, I would say.
For sure.
However, like the average player is just insanely better at cards now. Like we said, there was all those resources that people have access to and understanding. So like I could teach somebody how to play poker pretty damn good in like a month if they work really hard at it. Whereas before, it would take years and years and years of understanding that kind of stuff before you had like a really good base for how to play.
So people were just generally tighter in 2009, like the average player compared to like the pro. And
not necessarily.
Okay.
It was polarized. So a lot of people were like way too tight, and a lot of people were just like way too aggro and too bad. Like they didn't understand how to fold.
Yeah.
They weren't. There wasn't any balance really with any like players. People were just making so many mistakes. It was insane.
Okay.
And there was no big blind ante. So I know everybody loves that now because it's easy, but I very strongly feel that like games are way tighter with it.
Okay.
I really do. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong. Most people will say I'm wrong, which is fine. But I think you're supposed to play way more conservative now that like all your chips are being put up when you're big blind.
Okay.
But everyone used to ante, so you would have piles in the pot. You would win the blinds, and you would rake in a pot, like a big ass pot.
I miss those days. Yeah, you'd see in the coverage, people would just have an absolute mountain. Let me ask you, speaking of antes, was this I remember a video of Jeffrey Lissandro and Anti-Gate. Was that 2009 or was that past? I don't remember what year that was. I'm sure you remember.
I don't remember either, but that was with Prahlad Friedman.
Yeah, with Prahlad. Yeah. Well, so
which is funny because I know both of those guys. Like I know Prahlad better than I know Lissandro, but like I've spoken with Lissandro and I've spoken with Prahlad, and like individually, like separate from stuff, just like conversing with them, they're both very nice people. Yeah. Like just talking to them, right? Everyone has their leaks or whatever, but like just seeing them get in this like huge dispute over an ante,
dude. That was part of what made poker entertaining.
I'll knock your head off. He said, "I'll knock your head off.
I'll knock your head off." Yeah. So Wes, what happened was Lissandro threw an ante and Prahlad didn't. It was to his right. Didn't think he threw an ante, and for like multiple hands, he kept needling him. He's like, "I don't think he put the ante in. I don't think he put the." And then eventually, Lissandro just went over the edge and just was like, "I'll knock your head off." And
did they find out who didn't do it? Did they ever find out?
They did find out. Yeah, he put it in.
Lissandro did?
He put it in and Prahlad was wrong. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Prahlad, man.
You just
started shit for no reason.
Oh man. Why do you think, what do you think it is that has changed from 2009 to today in terms of characters and why it's just not as entertaining?
Well, okay. So like everyone kind of fits a mold now of like what it is to be a good poker player. Mm-hmm. Like you used to see all these characters, but then you'd see like that one silent, boring, calculated guy that's not giving away any emotions when he's betting every single time. And like you pick up a lot when people are like talking and just like, being loose. And like if you're just sitting there watching and you're like somewhat intuitive and like somewhat of like a sensitive where you can like pick up like manner, like you can understand people like by the way that they're betting and move, like you can pick up a lot and make some absurd plays. I've had tells on people and like made some insane like plays to win massive pots with absolutely nothing that I should not have won.
Okay.
But now you can't really do that, because even the people that give stuff away are kind of like mindful of it, and like you might just get duped big. Like now I've been like duped big time where people give a false tell or something like that, and I just make some absurd play where everyone's like, "What the hell was that guy thinking?" Which used to work, but now people understand. Like people,
they'll counter it, right? Yeah,
there's still some like absolutely horrendous poker players in the world, but like there's a lot of really good players. People that you don't even think are like that understanding, like are playing a lot better. So it's definitely something to adjust. And like I think you have to just be more like focused on being like a balanced player and just not letting yourself be exploited, instead of like you got to be really careful with how you try to exploit others, I think.
Okay. Did you develop any like friendships with any during that time in the WSOP? I'm assuming there's like some good outside of poker stories. Did you ever hit up the Rhino after a poker tournament? You don't have to answer that, but I'm just saying like any sort of stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, I found myself in some crazy places that stemmed from poker.
If you don't want to share some of them, I completely understand. So no.
I don't know if I have the best ones to share. Yeah, I wish I had better thought of this.
I know it's all good. So I mean, going back to the WSOP, it's 2009. You've kind of had a break-even summer so far. You're entering the 5K 6 max, which is that kind of it's at the end of the series?
Yeah, it was the last event before the main. Ended up getting 6th place.
Okay. What did that pay back then? I don't have your hand up here at the moment.
It was like 100 and something,
138 looks 138.
Like. Okay.
Yeah, 100. It was like 140K, and that was incredible. I just doubled my bankroll, but like I also was like so sure I was about to win $1 million because I was like tied for the chip lead with like 2 other people going into the final table, and then poker happened.
Yeah.
Lose
poker happens.
You can't really say it better than that. I don't think.
It's poker. Like you don't deserve to win anything. There's variance, and all you can do is just consistently put yourself in the best situations and hope for the best. Like nothing belongs to you. No result belongs to you. I can't say how many times I've like gone into some sort of tournament just thinking I deserve it, and like it's not true. There's every player in there has been putting in the hours and the volume. So like you just got to do your best and show up and hope that like the cards fall your way eventually,
Yeah, I mean, right. Exactly. You put in the best effort and put in a large sample size, and you're just going to have a better sample than the people that aren't studying as much. It's kind of how it works. So that was the year Kata won, right?
2009?
Yeah. I think that was the year Joe Kata won.
I don't know. I know I cashed the main though right after. So like I busted the 6 max. I was so tilted that I just regged the main day 1A. And then I played terribly.
While tilted? Yeah, nice.
But I bagged the stack, and then somehow I like ran it up day 2, and then like a Bilzerian busted me like after we got in the money.
One of the brothers. Okay, Dan.
I think it was Adam. Okay, not Dan. But I remember like 4-bet shoving jacks or something, or maybe like 3-bet shoving jacks or something, and like he tank called forever with ace king, which is like a snap.
Yeah,
and that was me in the main. I would cash for like 40K and had a great summer.
Did you guys look at hands or like your stack in terms of big blinds back then?
So yeah, that was one thing I was going to talk about is like back then, or maybe this is more like even before then, like 2005-ish, but like if you had 4 big blinds in a tournament, you like weren't that worried. Like you'd be able to shove and steal the blinds a lot. Okay. Like that, like you would have like 4 big blinds. Like you'd shove 100,000 at like 25K big, and like
a guy fold equity just lasted a lot longer into your stash.
A guy would fold like an ace, like ace 6, be like, "Oh, I think you got me beat. I got only ace 6. I wish I had a better kicker," and you'd like steal the blinds. So you could have 4 big blinds and just like run it up to like 25, 30 big blinds, like without getting called, just because people didn't know shove stacks.
Yeah,
like that wasn't people understand that.
I'm just drooling at the idea of this.
It was insane. Now you do it and like you shove like 10 bigs, and like some like old guy who hasn't played a hand all day like calls you with king 7 correct. He's like, "Oh, I got the king," and you have like 7-8. You're like, "Yeah, nice call."
That's so funny you said that. I literally a hand popped in my head right when before you came up with king 7. It was literally king 8.
That's hilarious.
I think I said king 7 for the cheating story earlier too.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
I don't know why I'm thinking king 7 right now.
I had another question too. So it sounds like, even though at this point you were taking your bankroll more seriously, like I'm doing the math here, and you came in with 100K and you're firing like a 5K and a 10K. It still sounds like very aggressive.
So I brought 20K with me for World Series. If I lost it all, I was like, fine. And then going into the 5K, I had like 25K.
Okay.
So I was like, worst case scenario, I go home with 10K. Like, great. Like, I was happy with that shot. And then all of a sudden, I just ripped the final table of the 5K, and now I'm just like, now I got like over 200K in my name. I'm thrilled. You know,
I'm willing to assume that bankroll management concepts were a bit different back then as well. Like they didn't have, like what the standards are now. Like you need to have 100 buy-ins, et cetera. Like I'm sure those standards were completely different then.
I mean, I think that might have been like, I might have been aware of that. And like, eventually I didn't start like doing well in poker until I started practicing that. So it's definitely valid, but yeah, man, when I was younger, I was taking shots.
Mm-hmm.
Even if after I had my biggest year, I still kind of gambled way too much. Like I once bought into like a 40K pound tournament and didn't swap at all and just like played it out. Which
40,000 pounds.
Yeah, it was like 80K.
Was it like?
It was like $80K at the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I remember I got like 4 or 5 bets in with Sam Trickett with jacks, and he had like ace 7, and he just like flops aces and 7s. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were bluffing," and I was like, "Yeah, well, that's what I wanted you to think."
Whatever happened to that guy? I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I don't know.
Not that you have to answer that.
I think I saw him like 7 years ago, and he's doing good. I think he's
just kind of out of the poker scene.
Yeah, or maybe he's just like playing home games and stuff like that. I know he's from Europe, so he's probably just living his life, doing exciting things.
So you're obviously leaving the World Series, hopefully. I mean, after the main event, because you said you cashed that as well. You got over 200K in the roll at this point. Are you starting to travel and play all the time, or?
I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm so happy because like it's always been my dream to just like be able to buy into the biggest tournaments in the world and just like prove that I can play cards and like play against the best.
And you're young with not many responsibilities.
I got no responsibilities. I don't even think I have a lease. I think I was staying in my parents' house at the time. So I go home and I just start planning stuff. And I think playing like some WPTs in the States maybe. And then the next F-Tops comes, which is maybe like a few months later, like August or September. And F-Tops are still huge. And now that I have like 100K or whatever in my, like I have a roll on full tilt, like I'm going to fire F-Tops. I'm going to grind. I'm going to play them. So I start playing the series. I'm doing terrible. I'm playing like all these tables at once. I've never been like a really established online player. My brain never worked like an online player's brain works. Like these guys are able to just play like 10 tables at once, and they could remember it, and they know how to. They have like a very like solid base of like how to play hands. So they're able to play so many hands at once. And I would always just like look at every single individual hand as like something completely different, and always like do some absurd shit like all the time. So I'd get like lost in just one hand.
Mm-hmm.
So even playing more than like 2 tables is like kind of tough for me. Because I just like focus like on a lot of different possibilities with one hand.
It's not how your game works. I relate with that a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Compared to Wes. Wes is one of those guys. I mean, he's a mathematical type, or like he's just more of a, I don't know what the best way to describe it, but he can play multiple tables and kind of stay focused throughout them, where I max myself at 4 tables. I just know that my capabilities, I can't play my best game at more than that. So
yeah. I'm astounded you didn't call me a robot there, Max.
I can't even do 4 tables is a lot for me.
I was
probably doing up to 6 back then, just because I don't know, like it wasn't that big a deal, but and it was no limit, so like you're folding most of the time at no limit 9-handed. Like it's not really, it's not that hard to play a lot. So I have a terrible series, and then like the last Sunday, the day of the main, I just do a full schedule, and I'm playing like everything, like thousands and buy-ins, and I'm running terrible. Like it's sick. Like I'm getting in like stacks for all these big pots, and I was just like so over poker. So I just like stopped registering. I unregistered every single extra event that I had and just kept the main open, which was starting at like 6, and it's like 4:30 right now. I just kept the main open, left that open, and then I went to LA Fitness to go play pickup basketball. Just because I was like, yeah, I'm over poker right now. I don't want to play.
I mean, that's responsible alone right there, honestly. Like that's a step in direction, take a break, go clear your mind, come back for the main maybe.
Yeah. So I go play basketball and I just completely forget that I had the main. Like I'm just playing, like I'm exhausted. I did not even remember. And then someone that like randomly asked someone else what time it is, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's 6:30." And like the tournament started 30 minutes ago, so I'm blinding out for 30 minutes. And I was just like, "Oh shit." So I just like drive home and I go, I'm like, I forgot I had the main. So I get back. I had 6,900 chips left from 7,500. So not the worst.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, all right, fuck it. Like, let's just try to run up a stack in this thing. It's a $530 buy-in. So I just play the most batshit crazy poker I've ever like. I'm going for every single play. My VPIP's probably like 85% in like a nine-handed tournament. And I'm winning every pot.
Okay.
And my friend like sees me playing. He's like, yo, I'm watching you play at your main table. Like, what is going on? You're going insane right now. You just like 3-bet deuce 5 off out of position pre-flop, and then you ended up value betting the 5, like, and you won. Like, what is happening with you? And I'm like, I'm locked in, bro. Like, I don't know. I'm going. It's making sense. I can't explain it. It's making sense, and I'm just
Max,
playing.
This sounds like you a little bit.
I was gonna say Crazy Carl. Matt doesn't know Crazy Carl, but it sounds like Crazy Carl.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, yeah, if I get locked in, it don't give ranges. What? Like, just, I'm going with the flow.
I got 21,000 chips at the first break from my 6,900, and he's got like 15K, and he just goes, "Yo, you want to swap?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." And he goes, "I'll give you 2% of me for 1% of you."
Seems fair.
And like chips wise, that was a really good deal. And he's like a good friend, so I was just like, "All right, fine."
And 2 and 1% is like
not much.
Small,
yeah.
You know?
Right. It was a small amount. I wasn't gonna do a big amount, but he's like one. I was like, I'll give him 1%, and he's giving me a great math deal here. Even if I am locked in, like whatever, I'll let one person have 1%. So he got busted pretty soon after that, and then I just go on an absolute heater, and I'm just terrorizing everybody in the tournament. And I remember having like 1,000,000 chips when the average stack was like 200K, and I'm playing against this guy Chance's Cards. You know who that is?
We just had him on Chance the podcast.
Corneth. You just had Chance Corneth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my oldest friends in poker. So me and Chance are battling. I have no idea who he is. I'd never met him before. I just see this guy Chance's Cards, and like he's the only guy that's fucking with me. Like I'm destroying everyone, and this one guy is like re-raising me pre-flop, and like he's like check shoving bluffs on me on the river. And I go from 1,000,000 chips to 150K just battling with Chance. And I got to meet him later, which was great because like
it was sick. I love this.
It was really funny. So me and Chance are just battling, and the table breaks. So then I get back to business and I rebuild, and I got a lot of chips again. Then I remember getting in aces against kings for piles. I would have been like 2-1 over second place in chips if I won the spot, and the guy hit the king on me. So I'm crippled again, short stacked. But it was just a wild tournament. Chance got busted because these tournaments are so huge. He was out later, but then I ran it up and I absolutely like demolished the final table.
Did you win this?
I won it. Yeah, I won the F-Tops main, and I remember I was playing with James Opst at the final table.
Okay, yeah.
His name was the fat fish. And I was going absolutely psychotic against him. I got like 5 bets in on a flop with Jack 10 on like 10-4 deuce rainbow. And I'm like, no, this guy thinks I'm fucking around. Like 10s are good. And I just kept like clicking it on him. And he just piled, and I snap called. Like I trapped him at ace queen high, which is like it was kind of a sick bluff. And it was ICM suicide what I did. Like 100%. Because I was playing to win. I didn't give a shit.
I mean, on both sides it was, to be honest, but
yeah, but like I understand his play. And my play is probably like torching it at that point. But like I was locked in, man. I was just going for it. I was just putting chips in. I was making the right decisions. All my bluffs were working. So I busted James when we were both like the chip leaders, and now I'm just like a massive chip leader, and I just completely annihilated the final table. Like I have the whole tournament saved. Like I made a I took the hand history and I watched it, and I rewatched the tournament now, and I'm just like, I am playing so bad. Like I am torching chips right this whole entire tournament. Like just looking at the stuff I was doing, I'm just like, this is, you can never like sell this to a training site. Like all of them would be like, do not do any of this stuff.
But you were being super aggressive in a time where people are probably being pretty passive and just
I
capitalizing.
was locked in. I had logic for all my plays. It all made perfect sense.
How much did you ship that for?
It was like 450K.
Jesus, off of 500 something buy-in. So
Yeah,
it's like, what is that? How many people are in that thing? Like 10,000?
I think it was like 5,000.
5,000. Okay.
Around, yeah. So it was that was just like, now I just tripled my roll, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I can do whatever I want.
That's incredible. Yeah,
I have $500,000 in my full tilt account.
Well, it's probably a good time to mention. I mean, this is what, 2010 or 9 still, or
2009, at the end of 2009.
Yeah, and I mean, I do have your hand in here, and it looks like in 2011 is when you won your first WPT for 720K.
Well, yeah. So I said, all right, well, now I'm rolled up and I can play all the tournaments. I'm going to Europe. Like no US guys have really conquered Europe yet. Like I'm gonna go play in the European rooms, which was so sick, dude. The way they deal the cards, like
it's been a dream of mine to go over there and play. Yeah, they keep it low. There's
no at the final table of the WPT. I had like a pile of plaques, like these. Yeah. I'm playing with plaques, dude, in the aviation club. Unfortunately, like at my WPT, the air conditioning wasn't working in the middle of summer in Paris. So like it was like 100 degrees in this room when we're all playing. Everybody's sweating. There was like this fan. Like,
I'm sure it smelled real good.
It smelled terrible, but there was like this fan behind me. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And I just like took my shirt and would put it over the fan just to like cool off.
Yep.
I don't know if people were smelling BO or what, but like I had to stay cool.
Were you under the radar being that your wins were online? Did people know who you were at this point?
So it was crazy. I won a circuit ring in 2000.
I have it right here if it'll open up for me.
2009. I won a circuit ring at the Atlantic City.
Yep.
And then I ended up final tabling the high roller right after that. So like I was like cashing a lot of tournaments, and I was doing pretty well. Like you'd see my face at all the stops.
Yeah. 2010, yeah. December 2010.
December 2010. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of doing well. That was like my first big like live title that I won, was the main event in Atlantic City. That ring was sweet too.
I'm sure your parents aren't too upset about you taking this path at this point.
No, they're thrilled. As long as I'm throwing money in an investment account, they're happy.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like making a name for myself, I think, and like which was important to me at the time. And then I remember in Paris, I'm playing with all the like European hotshot players. Martin Jacobson was actually at my final table, and he was like doing really well in the EPTs at the time.
Dude, he's a stud.
Byron Caverman, this was like one of his first big tournament scores. No one knew Byron yet, but he made this final table as well. And now he like plays all the high rollers and stuff, and like doing really well. And Byron was a friend of my friend that I was staying with. So every single day since like day 2 and on, I would walk like 15 minutes to the tournament with Byron.
Okay.
And we were just becoming friends. And then somehow we just kept walking together every single day till the final table. And at the end of play on the night before the final table, I was kind of just like, I was starting to get a good rhythm, and I was like crushing. And like, I was just winning all these pots. And I remember this one guy who's like a French, more recreational player. I like played this hand perfect and trapped him. And he like, cause he kept on like just over shoving like way too many bigs. And I just like called a raise with queens, like hoping he'd shove again. And he rips it in, and I called him. He has ace jack, and he just like, he rivered me for like, and now he's like chip leader or something. And I'm like just crippled. I'm like 5th in chips. And I was like, so then like some other guy busted, and like we started bagging up for the final table. And like I had like over $1 million, and I think chip leader had like 3 million or something. So it wasn't like that bad. But I was just like, I wasn't being mean to anyone, but I'm just like boiling right now that I lost this pot and I should be like chip leading going into this like huge tournament. So I remember specifically like them saying, all right, you guys got to come in for interviews tomorrow so that we can do our pre-production stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody right now because I'm just like livid over like losing like hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity in this like pot. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to come in or something like that. Or they're like, oh, well, you're the shortest stack, so you got to come in at 10 and you come in at 11. And so they wanted me to come in like hours before the tournament even started.
You're like, hell no.
Like, and I'm like, yo, sorry. Like, I understand, but like, I want to rest and sleep and get ready for the table. Like, I'm not going to come in early because I'm short stack and like do all this shit.
Promotionals. Yeah, screw that.
Yeah. I was just like, guys, like, give me a break. Like, make the chip leader come in earlier. Like, I don't want to do this shit. They're like, okay, well, we'd appreciate it if you did, but like, all right, like, I guess you don't have to, and blah blah blah. So now I'm an even bigger dick, and I go home, and then I just like woke up like crazy early, and like I couldn't sleep.
I mean, it's still an insane opportunity at big spots. I understand, even though you're the shortest stack.
And I was just thinking about it, and I was just like, man, production guys didn't really deserve me being that rude to them. So like I just like went in early and I just like apologized to everyone. I was like, hey, I just lost a really big pot. Sorry. Like, what do you need? Like, I'll do whatever you want. Like, just let me know how I can help.
That's cool.
Well, they didn't deserve me to be, they're just doing their job, And like, obviously, like, we get emotional and make some bad decisions, but like, if you think about it, like, and you feel bad, and you shouldn't like hesitate to like apologize. There's nothing wrong with being wrong.
No, right. Yeah. We're emotional human beings. It comes with it. And if you can recognize that and then also, take the time to correct it by apologizing, whatever, right? That's the right play.
So I apologize. We do the interview. And then I'm just sitting there like eating some food. And I remember Mike Sexton walks up to me. And I don't think I really knew Mike at this point, but he like comes up and introduces himself. And he was like the nicest guy ever. And I've been watching him for like 10 years now. So like I know like Mike's like, it's funny when you watch people like their content, you form like a relationship of knowing this person and their personality, but they don't know you
at all. Yeah.
So like it's super weird. Like I've had people come up to me, like not that much, but like people have come up to me and be like, hey, I'm a huge fan of your Twitter, or like, hey, I love you. I've watched you in the, and I'm like, thank you.
No,
cool.
I relate with that with you. I mean, I've seen you on, I've seen you on content a bunch over the years, and I'm like, I feel like I have a sense of who you are, but I obviously don't. But like, you've never even seen my face. You don't even know I exist until.
It's not easy to talk to people that you don't know, right? But then Mike just knew me from like winning some chips in the tournament and being an American. But that was the thing that he knew. And he just goes to me, he goes, guess what? You have a chance to do something very special today. And I'm like, yeah, you win the WPT? He's like, yeah. He's like, but that's not it. He's like, you could be the first American to win a broadcasted World Poker Tour event not on U.S. soil.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, no American has ever done that, ever. And I'm like, are you serious? Oh, wow. Okay. Now we got some pressure. Like, all right. I'm
maybe he lit a fire under your ass, though.
Well, I mean, maybe. I already couldn't be more nervous. This is my first, I've been dreaming about making a WPT final table since I was in high school, watching it on the Travel Channel at, 2 a.m. Like, this was the dream. And I'm here, like, in freaking Paris, like, of all places, like the Aviation Club. This was like so cool, man. Like this venue, Bruno Fatucci's spot, like it was just like, it's so sweet. You walk down like Champs-Élysées, like the biggest street in Paris, and then you just go into this little like spot. You walk up this like spiral staircase. You got to have a card to get in. I remember it took like 2 hours just to register for the card, and I was so tilted going in this tournament. Like I was saying, when I go into a tournament tilted, I just play like lights out, just like
fire away.
One cold killer, yeah. Like, but it's still like you're playing in France in like this old building with like these like the dealers are all like so professional, going like the drinks that are coming, like it would forget it, man. Like it's such a sweet experience. And now all of a sudden, like I'm just having the most epic year ever. And I'm in Paris playing it. And now Mike Sexton comes up to me and he's just like, yo, you can do this. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay.
That's incredible. I mean, what a cool story. I know, rest in peace, Mike Sexton as well. He was it's the trophy's named after him now, the Mike Sexton Cup. I mean, he's just such a pivotal part in like pushing poker to the world. So that's pretty sick.
I was like 4th or 5th in chips. And then Mike's coming to do the interview before the table. And he's like, we're going to interview one of our players. And he's like, Matt, why don't you come? And he did me for the interview. I was like, wow, like I did not expect that. But I guess like I did have maybe the best. The people that are at my table didn't really have that many good results yet, except for Martin Jacobson, but he was the short stack. So like, I don't know. He chose me for the interview. I did the interview, and then I just completely mashed the final table. Like,
so wait, this is 2011, right?
Yeah, 2011.
Damn, I didn't even know. I mean, Martin Jacobson had to been really just probably 20. I mean, I thought, I don't know how old he was, but I thought
he won the main in 14, right?
Yeah. He won it that long ago.
It was way after. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought okay. Anyway,
he was doing good in the EPTs. He had a couple of good scores. He actually used to be like a chef. He's like an insane chef, Martin.
Okay. I know he's like a super health buff type dude.
Yeah. Really nice guy. But yeah, he didn't have any chips. And this one guy, I think he was like Finnish, didn't even know English. He had all the chips, but he was on my immediate right. And I kind of tortured him a little bit at the final table. And next thing you know, I'm just hoisting a WPT cup,
That's so sick, dude. Yeah. And then
my rail, I was going to say my rail was Phil Collins, who like November 9.
I remember Phil. Yeah.
And weirdly, I do remember.
Everybody chanted that song when he made the final table. And Phil in the night or whatever it's called.
Yeah, sure. I can feel it come.
Yeah, that one.
In the air tonight. It was Phil and Jason Mercier because they were in Europe with me too. So they were like, I was hanging with them most of the time. And Jason has been one of my friends forever because I met him a few years prior at like the PCA, and I wanted to play a 25K but didn't have any money. So like our mutual friend introduced us, and I was like, yo, can I borrow $17,000? I know we just met. And he's just like, you're going to pay it back, right? And I was like, yeah, of course. He's like, okay. And he just like reaches into a bag and just gives me 17 grand. I'm like, can I give you some advice, bro? And he's like, what? I'm like, never do that ever for anyone again. Like, I know that like I'm a good guy, but like, just don't do this. And he's like, oh, okay, thanks. Good advice.
Can I have my money back?
So then I busted that tournament. And right when I got home, the first thing I do is go to the bank and call Jason. I'm like, yo, man, I got your money. He's like, what? When did you get home? I was like, I don't know, like 30 minutes ago. And he's like, okay, here's my address. And I go over to his house. And he's like, yo, this is the fastest anyone has ever paid me back. And I was just like, yeah, I don't like holding on to other people's money.
You said at the beginning, like you don't have debts to other people.
Yeah. I feel terrible. Like when I owe, I don't feel good.
That's a good feeling to have, right? Like it keeps you in line.
Yeah, but it's also like you're also going to get taken advantage of a lot. So I just roll up and I like give him the money, and he's like, yo, me and my friends are watching the Heat game. You want to hang out? And I was like, all right. And like, we just ordered pizza and watched some basketball. And like, I don't know, he's been a friend ever since. That's so awesome, yeah, he was there on my rail for Paris. And
it's super cool to hear, all these names you brought up that you're friends with, that you've, acquaintanced with over all the years. Because obviously, like, as I've, grown into poker and was, I remember in 2012 is when I really developed that fire, that passion. And these are the people that I looked up to in that, I was like, these are the people I'm like, man, I want to be like that. I want to just be an absolute crusher. And like, you're friends with all these people. So like, what an opportunity. And you're also one of them. So I think that's super.
That's arguable.
Yeah. Arguable.
Maybe I was one of them. Now I'm kind of just like,
What is poker for you now? What are you doing nowadays?
Man, so like after I won Paris, I kind of started like shifting to like wanting to change poker to what I always wanted it to be. I used to love sports, even though like I like thinking and logic and nerdy stuff. Like I also just loved playing sports as a kid.
Yep.
To play like soccer in high school and tennis and golf. Like so I always thought that poker could be more. And I basically just been developing a concept, or I spent a lot of time developing a concept to make poker into a sport.
Okay. Yeah. I believe it's Poker Rhythm, right?
Yeah, poker rhythm, poker ITHM, all one word. Like a poker algorithm, I guess, because the way we rank our players on the site is using an algorithm.
Okay. Okay.
And that's actually, we did a pilot season, and that frame right there behind me is the felt from our first season.
Sick. Okay.
So it's a team poker concept where we basically distribute the same cards across 4 isolated tables, and this way each team gets the same hand distribution, but they don't talk to each other. And then we tally the chips won or lost, so we have like a legitimate score for a poker match.
Yeah.
And after the season was over, we shot like 20 matches plus a championship in Vegas in the summer of 2019, I think. And the winning team, we popped a bottle of champagne all over the felt and just had all the winners sign it. And it was pretty sweet, man. I've never worked so hard in my life. I was waking up at 7, going to sleep after midnight every single day.
It's a passion project, though, I assume.
Every single night I would clean the felt, polish the rail, and get the decks ready. Like it was like my baby, I was just working so hard on it. And I wouldn't recommend trying to work with poker players to anyone, because like you're like herding cats, like I have to deal with 16 people per match, and that's just the players. Then I have
to get them on time. Sheesh, I know how Wes works.
And they have to come within like a 45-minute window here, because I have like a production crew working on things, and like I got to make sure everything's going. Somehow we pulled it off.
By the way, I'm going to put a description put a link in the description where you can to the website where you guys can check out Poker Rhythm. I did briefly look into the website, and I loved man, what's the term for it? Anyways, like the programming of the website. It was a beautiful looking website. The animations, everything.
Yeah, really cool. We spent too much money on it for sure. I will say that we're under some construction right now with our concept, but I'm really happy with our current guy that's working on our tech, and hopefully we'll have an MVP released very, very soon, where I'm going to bring our duplicate poker version to be something accessible for you on your phones. And ideally, I want to like create like a bar poker night.
Okay.
Without the chips, no dealers. You literally just go like a bowling night. Like you go with you and 3 other players on your team, or maybe you find a team when you get there, and we create poker match experiences for people.
I love that idea, man. I think that's great. You could implement that in a lot of different scenarios.
That's the next step, and the software is pretty much there. So I'll keep you guys posted, and
please do. Yeah. We'll definitely post it on our socials as well. For just to kind of remind those who are listening. So yeah, Poker Rhythm, kind of like POKERITHM. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
.com. Yeah. And Wes, do you have any questions on that?
I guess two general questions. One I was going to ask is more about, I hear like when you talk about poker, and I hear a lot of people talk about it kind of retroactively this way about, like let's say you just ran over a final table, or you just ran over this tournament. Do you think back in, that 2009, 2010, that era, you could genuinely, like it was just much easier to run over your opponents in a way? Because nowadays, let's say I'm at a final table and someone else wins, and it just feels like that person ran it over. A lot of times it comes with the caveat of like, okay, but they hit all their draws too. Like they ran super well.
For sure.
Was it a lot different back then? I'd just be so interested to see, like, to watch these hands happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you might even be able to argue it's easier to run a table over now, because people understand ICM so much better.
That's fair.
So just exploiting, you're saying?
But at the same time, Yeah, but at the same time, I think a lot of good, like I used to always be like a screw ICM kind of guy, and then that helped me just win most of my tournaments because I wasn't really trying the ladder. Now I like am trying the ladder, and I like don't win tournaments anymore. So like maybe I should just go back to the who gives a fuck mentality. Sorry if my curses are no good.
No,
but
you're quite all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about. Like if everyone's abiding by ICM and you're just a psychopath, maybe that's profitable. But yeah, people were definitely not. They were definitely making mistakes a lot more. I think the average poker mind is just so much more polished now and competent that it might be harder to exploit them. But there's still spots, and it's also final table dependent. Some tables are a bunch of amateurs that are having no idea what they're doing, and some tables are like really, really good players that are going to be tough, and you got to get lucky. And like usually when you run it over a table, which I've done plenty of times, I'm also extremely lucky with like the variance and the distributions. And like you'd be a fool not to acknowledge that. It's crazy how sometimes when the deck is just cooperating, you feel like you're such a genius.
Yeah.
It's just so true. It's so true.
But like in reality, you're kind of getting lucky here, and it just coincidence.
Right. I mean, it's man, there's probably a really good scientific term for this, but it makes you feel like you're making correct decisions when a lot of times it's just the deck hitting you in the face. So I mean,
I will say though that like if you could find a way to consistently be balanced and aggressive, that's just a really, really good combination.
Yeah.
It's like log rolling. You ever see log rolling?
Never log rolled.
Come on, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's two guys, and one person's just like trying, like the physics, they're just trying to stay on the log, and the other guy's just like running at full speed, like making the thing go crazy, and like the guy's like the guy that's controlling the log, which is like a metaphor for like the guy that's putting in most of the bets at a poker table. You just have such a huge advantage.
He has control.
Yeah, you're controlling the pace, you're controlling the momentum, it's going through you. So the other person has to kind of just like adapt.
I will say I've never heard the log rolling analogy, but I think it fits very well.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
I definitely hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
Like the best defense is a strong offense kind of thing. Like, if you're always putting the pressure on the other person, like they're forced to play defensively and they can't they won't find as many opportunities.
In terms of poker rhythm, so it sounds like this is basically you're trying to make it so to sort of take the variance out in a way and just like have it be a skill competition purely.
Well, not exactly, but ideally, yes. There's still going to be variance. Could be dealt ace 10 and get 100 big blinds in with a crazy guy at your table who has jacks. And then you could hit the ace and win. Whereas the other three players all got away from the ace 10 pre-flop and played the hand way better than you did.
Sure.
You got more chips than them because of it.
So the starting hands are, you're getting dealt the same hands, but the runouts and the
same.
Oh, the runouts are the same too, but
everything's the same.
They're still random in like.
Well, I'm saying they might fold the hand and not river it.
Correct.
You might have played the hand terribly, but it ended up benefiting your team because you got lucky.
That makes sense.
So that for that reason, there's still variance. But the one thing that I can say is that I'm allowing all of my players to compete on a level playing field because all the things are the same.
I like that. That's super cool.
So it's just like in a basketball game, if J.R. Smith is hawking up the worst threes you've ever seen, but they're swishing and his team wins the game. Did he play well? Maybe not. But they played on the same court. They played by the same rules. So that's what I know I can provide for poker.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely check that out. I look forward to seeing your next iteration of it. Matt, so as we wrap things up here, I will say we do have a reoccurring question that we ask every guest on our podcast. For you, I want to make it a little bit different. I want to add a little twist to it. So the question is poker an art or a science, in your opinion? And to add to that question, I want to ask how that's evolved from 2009 to today.
My answer is yes.
Both, yeah.
It is an art. It is a science. It is a hobby. It is a sport. It's everything. It doesn't need to be one or the other. How has it evolved since 2009? It's certainly, I think it's a lot more mechanical. It's a lot more efficient, I guess, in a way. But it's not as raw as it was in 2009. It's not as beautiful. It's not as crazy. We're losing a lot of the differences that poker had. And it's becoming more mundane, unfortunately. But there's still a lot of great things happening. There's still so many awesome content creators that are bringing poker to different people and showing you poker in a different way. So, I'm hopeful.
Where do you see poker in the next 16 years? So,
I mean, fingers crossed. Like, I want to fill up a stadium of poker fans watching teams play in a poker match. Like, that's my dream.
I would love to see something like, I mean, I know it's been attempted. I would love to see you succeed in that because I think poker could use something like that again, just to get it out to the people. So
yeah,
we'll definitely go ahead and push that. And Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to share the stories today. If it's okay with you, we'd love to have you back on sometime and maybe finish some more of those stories, maybe break down some hands, whatever it might be. Just you've been super fun to talk to. It's been interesting hearing all the stories. So
yeah, it was fun hanging out with you guys, and I appreciate the experience. So I wish you all the best with your pod, and for sure, yeah, just reach out and let me know, and maybe we could do it again.
We'll definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to all the listeners, thanks for taking the time to listen today. I will go ahead and put his social or Matt's socials in the description as well as Poker Rhythm's website link. So make sure to go ahead and check that out. And we'll see you guys with the next episode.